What's up, everyone? This is Minnesota Mike back with you for another video. This is another one in my vlog series that I do through the Memphis Songwriters Association in conjunction with the blog that I write for them, talking all about songwriting and what has worked for various artists over the course of a handful of years, whether those songs have been hits or not. So this latest kick that I'm on is called Twist and Shout, and in it we are talking about songs that have some sort of a twist at the end. Last week we looked at Everything You Want by Vertical Horizon, as well as Escape the Pina Colada Song by Rupert Holmes. This week we are going to look at two more videos, and in this one we are going to talk about People Are Crazy by Billy Currington. Now, before I talk about the song, I want to give a little bit of a background on the two songwriters that wrote this song. Those would be Bobby Braddock and Troy Jones. Now, Bobby Braddock actually is an industry veteran. He has been writing hit songs for years and years, including Divorce by Tammy Wynette and He Stopped Loving Her Today by George Jones. So he's no stranger to writing hit songs. He Stopped Loving Her Today is a really good example of a twist. It's a little bit of a logical progression, but you can definitely still see that there's a little bit of a twist to He Stopped Loving Her Today, and why it's not what you would think as a listener by just reading the title. So this particular song was written by that same guy, Bobby Braddock, and he's no stranger, like I said, to writing a twist at the end of his songs. Now, Troy Jones is a little bit more sequential in his writing, although he is a very clever writer. He wrote Shift Work, which was cut by Kenny Chesney and George Strait, and had another Kenny Chesney cut, had another Billy Currington cut, and unfortunately passed away about 4 years ago in a tragic boating accident I was reading. But the two songwriters worked really well together. So one of them came up with a hook, that was Troy Jones, and then Bobby Braddock came up with the twist at the end, and then they just kind of worked together to fill in the pieces. So they were writing this song, and we'll just kind of go piece by piece. The first verse utilizes small talk among this old man and the narrator, who they met at a bar, and the younger man is gaining wisdom from the older man through this small talk. So they talk about politics, blonde and red-haired chicks, and habits we ain't kicked. The second verse then continues on with that small talk, but it mixes in some heavier topics as well. He says, I fought 2 wars, been married and divorced, before one of my favorite lines comes in, saying, what brings you to Ohio? He said, damned if I know. The two people talking have very different life experiences, as revealed throughout the song. But at the end of each verse, the old man concludes, God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy. Like I said, those 3 universal truths that people generally agree on. So the bridge has the narrator moving on with his life, saying that he never talked to the old man again after that day, or night. But the third verse is where the twist comes in. While reading the paper one day, he sees the old man's obituary, and in it finds out the old man was a millionaire. If you don't listen closely, you'll miss the twist at the next part of the verse. He left his fortune to some guy he barely knew. His kids were mad as hell, but me, I'm doing well. Though it's not directly stated, the implication is that he left his money to the narrator, the random guy that he met at the bar, just to tick off his children. The narrator then stops by the old man's grave, where he leaves a 6-pack to thank the man, and ultimately concludes that God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy. Melodically, the song is played with a guitar capoed at the 5th fret. It starts off with an intro of FFCC, FCCC, which is a 1-5-1-5 pattern. while the verses use F, C, D minor, B flat, C, G, A minor, F, C, G, A minor, and F. That is a 1, 5, 6, 4, 5, 2, 3, 1, 5, 2, 3, 1 pattern. The hook then uses that F C F C pattern, the 1 and the 5, and the bridge uses B flat, A minor, G flat minor, and C. That is a 4, 6, 2, 5 pattern. Overall, the song is written in the key of F. Musically, the song contains steel guitar, acoustic and electric guitar, as well as bass and drums. In the third verse, a piano can be heard throughout. Structurally, the song uses a verse, verse, bridge, verse format. We talked in an earlier vlog about A Selah by Fountains of Wayne, and it uses this exact same pattern. It has a verse, it has a hook at the end of the verse, it has another verse, another hook, or the same hook, but then it goes to a bridge to break things up before finishing on the last verse, and then there's that hook at the end. So, that hook, like I said, God is great, beer is good, people are crazy, which gets sung once at the end of each particular verse, except for the last verse where it gets sung 3 times. In a previous blog, I talked about story songs, example songs, and hybrid songs. This one I would consider a hybrid song. Given its simplicity and the fact that it tells the story of the night that the two of them had. I would say that it's a story as well, though, but the simplicity kind of makes us think that it's going to be just an example song as to all the ways that God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy. So the twist that comes in at the end really does get you as a listener. In fact, the first few times I listened, like I said, I just thought that he laughed it off when the old man gave an almost complete stranger his money. It took a couple more listens for me to realize that the narrator was the guy that the old man barely knew. And so that's the twist at the end. God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy is embedded below. I hope that you get something out of this song. If you've heard it before, like me, you're probably the type of listener who needs to listen a couple of times in order to really fully grasp how cool that ending is, that twist ending. But I broke it down for you. Hope you listen, hope it inspires your songwriting in a positive way. I'm Minnesota Mike. Thank you so much.